soulmate become your cellmate?
Does black love still exist?
What are your bedroom turnoffs?
Fantasies and fetishes.
Financial infidelity. I'm dating a fat person. Are they worth the wait?
Trust me, this gonna be crazy.
How about the heavy stuff?
The child wasn't his, and he still had to pay child support.
It's a very heated topic.
How was that right?
Mama's baby, daddy's maybe.
I just have so many questions I want to ask you.
I just like to kiss. Is there something wrong with that?
Damn.
He told me he had a vasectomy. I'm pregnant.
Betrayal has been committed.
Hit you with the bad pipes routine.
How does he maintain his humposity?
He likes it when it pinches my nip.
Why can't you open up, brother?
I'm a karate man. Karate man rules on the inside. They don't show their weaknesses.
Yeah.
How do you write women so well?
Zoe Williams,
Reason and accountability.
the voice of reason.
Come on and go with me. Come on over to my place. I don't feel like being lonely tonight. You see, I want some company. And you look like you're just my type. You're the kind whose spirits are running free. Let's take a sip of some cold, cold wine and dance to the music nice and slow. And you won't be under any kind of pressure. You see, we'll just let the evening flow. Come on and go with me. I'd sure like that, babe. Come on over to my place.
Hey, this is, I don't,
It would be
whoa.
so nice, it would be so good. Come on
See,
and go with me.
Teddy, take your mind away from the trauma.
My place.
We both hurt. Let's just take a shower. Let's not worry about the wounds right now. Let's lick each other's wounds. Teddy put you in a whole different space to deal with that hurt. You understand? Oh, this verses is on fire tonight. Who you got? You Donnie Hathaway or Teddy P. The voice of reason is on fire tonight. We turned up. We got a great topic. The phone lines are, what we've come to expect here on the voice of reason on KBLA Talk 1580. But before I get back to my brother Daryl, let me just do this really quickly. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580. If you would like to be a vendor for our Welcome Home Mayor-elect Karen Bass event in historic Leimert Park on Saturday, December 10th, please email us to info@smileyAudiomedia.com and we will get you all the details you need. That's info@smileyAudiomedia.com for all the info you need on how to join us as a vendor at our Welcome Home Mayor-elect Karen Bass event Saturday, December 10th in historic Leimert Park. This is a community action, call to action from KBLA Talk 1580. Man, oh Manischewitz, tonight's topic, hurt magnets. The universe is full of entanglement. Your wounds are entangled, people. Einstein talked about entanglement, didn't believe it. Niels Bohr and Einstein fought for years over entanglement. Bohr was the upstart young physicist that was inspired by the rock star Einstein, but also was one of his greatest opponents and challenged him. Said, yo, bro, the communication between entangled particles, regardless of the distance between them, they could be hundreds of thousands of light years apart, moves faster than the speed of light. Einstein could not accept one of his universal constants being challenged. But later, a physicist by the name of Bell in the 60s and 70s, who was an advocate of Einstein, actually wound up proving Niels Bohr right. Yes, we're entangled. Your wounds are entangled, people. And for men, you need to understand something about emotional trauma. It's far more subtle than you think it is. It could be a moment of marginalization, a moment of minimization that you experienced when you were a child. Maybe it came from a caregiver, somebody you looked up to. You ain't gonna make it. You're not smart enough. Look, you remember that scene in Malcolm when his teacher was saying, Malcolm, you need to think about being a gardener. No, I'm going to be a lawyer. No, that's not a job for Negroes. You're a Negro. Listen, I know you're smart. I'm smarter than everybody in the class, but that doesn't matter in this world. You're good with your hands. Be a gardener. That is emotional trauma. And a lot of men carry that. Something as simple as a girl saying, you ugly. In middle school, boy, could set a man off on a tear. He'll be wounding and hurting women all the way from that moment. I got a friend of mine who stopped dating sisters because of something that happened in high school. A sister said, nah, I'm cool on you. You kind of goofy. You kind of nerdy. And that was it for sisters in that moment. Oh, Lord. Okay. Daryl, get back in here.
Hey, I hope old boy come back to the sisters.
No,
that's about the best.
No.
But at any rate, yeah, you know, I was just listening to you. It could be something to me being molested by the older woman because in my teens, that's all I dated was older women. And it just turns out that I had a baby by a 24-year-old when I was 16. But and my daughter, last week she just turned 40 years old. But so that could stay with you even though you didn't feel that it was trauma.
Mm-hmm.
And so you would you say that that's what connects me with a woman that's been molested by a man?
No. Just, you have to remember this, brother. You were molested, right?
Right, but it was a good thing.
But hear what I'm saying. You think it was a good thing. Might have been a good thing to your body. Might have been a good thing to your mind. But maybe not so much for your soul, which is why you're attracting it. Remember, you get people saying the same things from a clinical space and from a spiritual space. The clinical space, you get Carl Jung. He says, listen, that shadow, that unconscious space where the shadow and our dragons live, it needs relationship so that from the depths of this shadow, whatever you're holding in there can come to the surface and be reconciled through conflict. That's what Jung said. So, again, you're attracting what happened to you because you're not over it. If you were over it, there would be no residue of it in your spirit, and thus you wouldn't magnetize it into your life.
The receptors wouldn't pick it up. It's like being fine-tuned. So that make a lot of sense, man. Dang.
But that's what do you understand that's why I called the show Hurt Magnets. That wasn't supposed to happen well, let me not say supposed, right? It happened for a reason, but the reason lies in its reconciliation. How do you reconcile it? Do you look at it without judgment? Do you look at it without condemnation? Do you look at it objectively? Or do you put it on a pedestal like, hey, like you just said, this was a good thing? Was it?
I didn't see any hurt. Like on a woman being molested at a young age, that's hurtful. I mean, the lady that I'm
Wait,
seeing right.
How old were you, Daryl?
7 or 8. I can't even remember.
Come on, brother. Come on. You're a child. Whatever happened to you, if it happened at the hands of an adult, right?
Sure. Well, she was older. I wouldn't call her an adult.
Okay,
My
teenager.
sister was
Teenage.
older than me, so she was a teenager. Yeah.
Not supposed to happen, brother. Not supposed to happen, brother. And let me just say this. I'm glad you got a positive outlook on it. Because guess who else was molested by his sister?
You?
No. R. Kelly. Was it his sister, his aunt? Allegedly? Somebody.
Oh, okay.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
So
And
you
see how
exactly, bro.
And that guy's a genius at the same time. He's a musical genius.
So it wasn't R. Kelly's sister. It was definitely his aunt, they're saying in the chat room. So you see what I'm saying, bro?
Wow. Okay. All right, Zoe. All right. Let me open your show up, man. I appreciate you.
Thank you, Daryl, for calling in, man. We appreciate you, bro.
All right, now.
Listen, we're going to open up these phone lines again. We want people to call in and share their stories, man. No judgment here. Nothing but love, love, love. We appreciate everybody for being so transparent. When we come forward, I'm going to Northridge and Torrance, California. Let's go.
Reasons. The reasons that we're here, the reasons that we fear, our feelings won't disappear. You're listening to the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
Bring in the new year with Cat Williams. He's coming to Ontario in the Toyota Arena December 30th. And in Los Angeles in the Microsoft Theater December 31st.
I don't know what I'm going to do about this light bill. Just hit the blunt one time and see if it don't change your perception of what's important in your life. I don't know what I'm going to do about this life. Them blunts. I got 12 candles. I've been waiting to burn them.
He's back with an all-new show. It's the award-winning comedian, Cat Williams.
Just so you knew they was lying, they said some next that don't even make mathematical sense. They said there's a chicken wing shortage, but we got plenty thighs.
Cat Williams with his special guests, Mark Curry, Tommy Davidson, Tony Roberts, Daphne Springs, and Pretty Ricky. In Ontario, get tickets at Ticketmaster. In Los Angeles at AXS.com. Bring in the new year with Cat Williams.
Hey, Dad, how do airplanes fly? What's in this box? Is this tree good for climbing? How are babies made? What does this thing do?
Kids are curious about everything, including guns. Talking to them about gun safety in your home is a good first step, but you can do more. Always keep your guns locked, unloaded, and stored separately from ammunition. Safe gun storage saves lives. Learn how to make your home safer at endfamilyfire.org. That's endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by End Family Fire, Brady, and the Ad Council.
KBLA Talk 1580.
The thrill of victory. The thrill of victory. Thrill of victory.
KBLA Talk 1580 wishes to congratulate Mayor-elect Karen Bass on her historic win as the first woman and only second African-American to serve as chief executive of the city of Los Angeles.
Congratulations, Mayor-elect Bass, and welcome back to unapologetically progressive KBLA Talk 1580.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much for having me on the show, and this is my very first interview, and I am proud that it's here.
We are proud to have you here. What do you want to say to the listeners of KBLA Talk 1580?
I want to say thank you from just, I'm just full of the love that I felt every place I went in the community, and I just want the listeners to know that I promise you I won't disappoint you. I will be accessible. I will never forget where I'm from, and understand that is my primary motivation.
Congratulations, Mayor-elect Karen Bass, holding all leaders accountable to you.
No matter who you voted for, no matter who you are or where you live, I will be a mayor for you.
With KBLA Talk 1580. Talk 1580. Talk 1580. And we don't black down. We've got a lot to talk about. You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
is a love? You told me that you didn't love him, and you were gonna say goodbye. But if you really didn't mean it, why did you have to lie? Where is the love you said was mine, oh mine?
Roberta Flack
Was it just a lie?
and Donny Hathaway. Where is the love? You damn show ain't in a trauma bonded relationship. Woo. Let me just say this to you guys real quick. Cycles. Trauma creates cycles. You have a space-time event. The moment in which trauma happens, it happens in a moment. Space-time event. Boom. Traumatized. So now you carry it forward into your adult relationships. And trauma is like a virus. It wants to express itself. Typically, viruses just don't lay dormant for long. They want to show up, right? So typically, trauma will look like you won't look like nothing until you get into a relationship, until you get past the honeymoon phase. Then it starts to present itself. And trauma is about cycles. Cycles want to maintain. They want to keep happening. Yes, this is how the trauma knows it's alive and in control of your spirit. By way of the cycles you permit in toxic relationships. Now, from a spiritual perspective, cycles are mirrors. Right? What do you mean, Zoe? Cycles are mirrors. In a trauma-bonded situation where wounds are attracted to each other, the wounds understand we can establish a cycle through our mirrored interaction. Wow. It's cold-blooded stuff that happens in relationship on a spiritual level. When I hear all of these shows out here, people talking about who gonna cook and all the superficial stuff, it's like, come on. The real purpose of you being in this relationship is to convert the dark light from your dark or obscured lighthouse. You're supposed to convert that dark light into visible light or conscious light. See, your wounds love the dark. They love to be obscured. But then they show up in the relationship, which is the perfect breeding ground for the cycles they need in order to exist. Do you understand what I'm saying? Let's get to it. Fred, Northridge, California.
Yeah, hey, bro, how you doing?
Talk to me, brother.
I got to be 100 with you because I said I was going to be serious Fred this week.
Thank you, serious
listen,
Fred.
When I was a younger man, I was an opportunist. I mean, I looked for the wounded doves. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And it just so happened at the time I came up, it was just, the 70s. So I worked in a bar, and I used to meet all these damaged older women. And I just had, I guess, a mama complex or whatever you want to call it. So, you know how back in the day, say, hey, mama, what's happening? Well, I guess subconsciously, I wanted that mama. You understand what I'm saying? I didn't mess with girls my age. I used to mess with women who went through things. And then I guess in their damage, with their damaged psyche, I was the guy for the job. You understand what I'm saying? I was witty. I was cute. I had a little paper. I had a nice car. So I was able to convince them that I was mature enough to handle that relationship. Oh man, I had some cool girls. I had one girl that worked at Crystal.
Can I ask this real quick? When you can we swap out the word convince for the word manipulate?
Huh?
I said, can we swipe
Yeah.
out the word
I mean, I
convince from?
manipulated like a.
Thank you, because you really are a predator in this situation when you say you were looking for the wounded doves. I just want you to, acknowledge that.
Oh man, I was like, look, Joe, I was 16 working in my uncle's bar, nightclub, disco, and women used to come in there and get drunk. I mean, this was before Reagan, before Matt. Drunk driving wasn't about nothing. So, Freddie would be like, hey, baby, you need a ride? You too drunk. I don't want you to crash. And they'd be like, yeah, okay. And then we would stop at, what was it we used to go to? IHOP. Take it for some little pancakes, little sausage, and we talk. And, I just find out what was going on with them. And, based on convenience or manipulation, I wind up, sharing the weekend with them. I mean, that's just the way it was. I didn't know no better. I was just a kid trying to be a man. I didn't know what a man was about. I just was a selfish individual. Now, 589 women later, I stopped my roll. I mean, that monkeypox made me freeze up.
Oh, my God. I thought this was serious, Fred. Fred is on here recanting Cosby-esque moments. They be drunk, and then I say, girl, I'll drive you home. What is going on, Fred?
They were grown, man. I'm the one being the victim. I was the victim.
Fred, come on, Fred.
And then when I had that kid by that 25-year-old, I stopped that too. That's how I wound up, going to college in the Marine Corps because I thought I had to take it, grow up and be a man and take care of my family. But when she went to meet my mom, my mom called her cradle robber. And so my girl, she kicked rocks. And it hurt me, man. It really did hurt me but then now I understand she could have got charged with a statutory rape.
But Fred,
she couldn't push the issue.
Let me push this. What in your spirit made you go after the proverbial or the seemingly low-hanging fruit?
Because I was Captain Saber, you know what?
But why? Where did that come from?
Because, man, when you seeing these beautiful black women sobbing in their drinks, listening to Bobby Blue Bland and, Latimer and, all them old songs they used to, give it up, turn it loose, and all that stuff, right? Betty Wright and all that. Well, the women used to, they be down in the dumps. So, I just was trying to make myself happy and, give them a little cheer. That's all. I mean, I'm being real.
I got you, Fred.
We weren't that sophisticated. We weren't that. It was the 70s, baby. It was free love.
And Fred.
So I mean, if it was free, I just came with a grocery bag. That's all.
Wow. Thank you, Fred, for the call. We appreciate it, brother. Call in anytime, Fred. We're gonna always
just keeping it real.
I know we're gonna always keep a space for Fred. But
589 victims later, I stopped.
But let me do this. Let me do this. Thank you, Fred. We appreciate the call, brother. Let me do this. Because I always have to point this out. Brothers who prey on women because they have low self-esteem. I'm not saying Fred got low self-esteem, but there are a lot of brothers who lack confidence who go after the low-hanging fruit and manipulate and gaslight and all. Again, when you think you picking up a wounded bird or a wounded dove, in many cases, it's the pot calling the kettle black. In many cases. I don't think a lot of brothers understand that. Right? When you see a brother who says, I'm gonna go after this type of woman, you have to say, but why would that be your preference? Because that's born of something broken too. So I need people to understand that. We, in a weird kind of way, have made it cool to be like, yeah, I was able to knock her. I was able to get that. But when I look at, your preferences and like, oh, I choose the wounded ones, then you have to say, there's something in you that's broken that tells you got a better chance with her. Like if she's gimp in some way, emotionally gimp, psychologically gimp, something's wrong. Do you understand what I'm saying? A lot of men go after women like that because they feel like they got a better chance. I just be honest, brothers. Call in right now and tell me the truth. How many brothers go after the top shelf woman with sincere confidence in their abilities, no game plan, just, hey, how are you? What's your name? Glad to meet you. It's a lot of brothers that are afraid of that conversation. Talk to me.
So once again, you cooking with grease as you normally do. I was just gonna say it's easy. It's easy. Generally speaking, we don't want to work that hard for what we truly want. We want it served on a silver platter. So that's why we are predators towards those women that are pretty easy.
Gotta be honest. Thank you, Andy. Andy, my engineer, came realer than y'all. Picking up drunk women? That ain't even a score. The game clock ain't even on. Like that. Wow. Okay. 1-800-920-1580. Amir from Torrance, get in here. And then Rhett. I see you, Rhett. Amir, talk to me, man.
Zoe, I think you have a great topic tonight. And in psychology, they say hurt people hurt people. Mm-hmm. So what you're detailing tonight is so very beneficial for men because a lot of, like what you were saying, the pot calling the kettle black. If this brother has low self-esteem, he's looking for a woman with low self-esteem. And like what Andy said, like that conversation, why not just talk to the woman that you really want? My philosophy growing up was all she could say is no.
Right.
And if she says no, then I'm just going to work on my skills that much tighter. And I used to tell women that told me no, I'll have you by the end of the year. And I walk away. And now she's thinking about me like, what did he say? He wasn't intimidated? No, I'll have you by the end of the year. Because after you're done with all these other dudes that ain't going to give you great conversation, then you'll see me for what I am. And I said that with confidence. I wasn't arrogant. It was like, because I really want you, so I'm going to work towards having you. When you see me, you're going to start looking for me. So hurt people do hurt people. But I would ask you this question, Zoe. How deep does this hurt go from slavery to today? Because I think that we have unrealistic expectations of having great relationships when we've been hurting from something deeper than relationships.
Okay, so 2 points to answer your question. Number one, we don't have expectations of our own. We've inherited a toxic society's expectations for what they say healthy relationships are. We're not the authors of our own expectations, really. Our expectations are really life benchmarks that the system has established. But I want you to stay with me, though. Don't leave. Mm-hmm. Amir asked me that question in a few minutes. Just stay with me. Amir from Torrance is always cooking. When we come forward, more from the Voice of Reason.
He's on fire tonight. It's the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams, exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Doug Davis, and here's the latest from the Black Information Network. The Bureau of Prisons says all federal inmates who were held in private prisons are now in federal prisons. Last year, President Biden signed an executive order directing the Bureau to move the inmates back to federal facilities and called it the first step to stop corporations from profiting off of incarceration that is less humane and less safe. President Biden is approving a bill to prevent what has been described by some as a potentially catastrophic railroad strike. The measure forces a deal between freight railroads and their their unions, averting a shutdown. Biden said some 750,000 Americans would have been put out of work within the first 2 weeks of a shutdown. A Savannah, Georgia man, 42-year-old Jimmy Pays, has been charged with aggravated assault and aggravated battery for shooting a white teenager who was at his door campaigning for U.S. Senator Raphael Warnock. Warnock's hometown is Savannah. And that's the latest. I'm Doug Davis from the Black Information Network at BINnews.com.
Don't let a traffic accident ruin your day. Call 1-800-INFO-FIX to find the nearest Fix Auto location. Their highly trained and certified technicians will have you back on the road in no time. You have a choice on who fixes your vehicle. Tell your insurance agent you want to go to Fix Auto.
Don't talk. Just listen. Listening is life-changing. Life-changing. As words become increasingly weaponized and politicized in our community and in our country, sometimes it's easier not to listen. But charitable listening is an act of generosity, a sign of respect. Just listen. When we listen actively, we surrender our own assumptions and notions to make space for the ideas of another. In times of turmoil, just listen. Listening is the only way forward. Thank you for listening to KBLA Talk 1580. Talk 1580. Talk 1580. Talk 1580. Listen.
KBLA Talk 1580 invites you to join us in celebrating the season of giving by being part of the solution. As we enjoy great food, family, warmth, and well wishes in whatever our festive tradition may be, we share the beauty of the season by reaching out to the less fortunate. Please help us to help others with the KBLA Cover the Houseless Cozy Community Coat and Blanket Drive. All you have to do is drop off new or clean, gently used winter coats and blankets in the KBLA lobby during business hours. Now through December 20th, all of the coats and blankets will be donated to unsheltered individuals and families experiencing houselessness. Simply bring your donation to 4434 Crenshaw Boulevard in Los Angeles, near Vernon Avenue, from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. weekdays. That's 4434 Crenshaw in historic Leimert Park. During the holidays and every day, let's remember, we keep us safe. We keep us warm. We are the safety net, and together we can cover the unsheltered. Get caught up in the spirit of the season, the spirit of love. Make a difference with your friends at KBLA Talk 1580.
Did you know addiction to drugs like meth or cocaine is a disease and not a choice? But getting help is. If you have stimulant use disorder, you, your family, and friends may have a lot of questions, including where to start. Choose Change California can help. Make a change today and find a proven treatment option for you at choosechangeca.org.
KBLA Talk 1580, putting the spotlight on culture and community. The Rodney King Foundation works in the community to promote positive race relations and achieve social justice. The foundation provides advocacy, educational scholarships, and the powerful Walk in Love initiative. The Rodney King Foundation seeks a world of hope, tolerance, and social justice, where divisiveness has been overcome and all people live together peacefully and harmoniously. Executive Director, Founder Laura King is striving to enhance the community's self-esteem, health, social services, and social justice locally and worldwide. The foundation is dedicated to continuing the message of Laura's father, the great Rodney King, to promote peace and #Get Along. For more information, please visit rodneyking.org or call 626-541-2907. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580 is pleased to announce a can't-miss community event.
It's a celebration.
Welcome home, Mayor-elect Karen Bass.
You gotta be kidding me.
On Saturday, December 10th, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., Join KBLA Talk 1580 in Leimert Park at the intersection of Leimert and Vernon for this free public event as we celebrate Mayor-elect Bass's historic victory. There'll be live performances from Brian McKnight, Wapale, Club Nouveau, and more. There'll be food trucks and a diverse array of vendors, along with the attendance and participation from community leaders, elected officials, celebrities, business owners, and other notables. KBLA Talk 1580 will host Mayor-elect Bass on the main stage at 11 a.m. as we reflect on the importance of this moment and what it means for the Black community, women, and all Angelinos who believe in the limitless potential of our amazing city. We look forward to celebrating with Mayor-elect Karen Bass and you, Saturday, December 10th, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the intersection of Leimert and Vernon.
It's a celebration.
This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
We gon' celebrate your party with you. Come on, come on now.
We've got a lot to talk about. You're listening to the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
Turn off the lights and light a candle. Tonight I'm in a romantic mood. Yeah. Let's take a shower. Shower together. I'll wash your body.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, the voice of reason. Can I say something right now? This is a tie. Teddy Pendergrass, and I still got more songs to play, but I'm calling it a tie right now. Teddy Pendergrass and Donny Hathaway, it's a tie. But let me just say this. The community in my chat room on my YouTube page, we're broadcasting live on my YouTube page, and they are reprimanding Brother Fred, as they should, for his comments, his insensitive comments. And listen, this is the last thing I want to do, because I've been given free reign to create a culture here. And the culture of the Voice of Reason is no judgment. You get to come in here and speak how you feel, no judgment. But I expect you to have a moral compass. I expect you to know where there are lines, where there are borders, right? And again, yeah, it was a story about when the Brother Fred was 16 and he was sharing and he was open, and it's okay. But brother, if you gonna share that story, part of the mandate is you got to acknowledge the toxicity in you that allowed you to participate in that type of activity. Now, if you call in here and it's jokey, it's like, no, like it's almost a violation of my mandate. And I don't want to have to take the mandate back that says, hey, you can call in and say what you want. But brother, I got a daughter. I would never want something like that to happen to her. You understand? Like, and I want to acknowledge my YouTube chat room. Everybody, men and women in there, like, nah, Fred, you crossed the line, you over the line, and Fred is incalcitrant. He's Aries, so that's what he gonna do. He's Aries, so I understand. But it's like, no. At some point, we got to be able to be held accountable by our community, where we say, look, Fred, too far. That's over the line, right? So let me get back to Amir from Torrance, California. Amir, jump in here, brother.
I'm here. Zoe, I wanted to share with you and listeners what we're doing in Los Angeles. We have an organization called Southern California Ceasefire, and we meet every Wednesday at this church and we talk about different topics. We're trying to get our brothers and sisters to stop gang banging and to stop going to prison. But we do have conversations like what we're having now about relationships because we want to be accountable to each other and we want to help each other. So when you're sitting in a room with brilliant men like you and myself, you're learning so much. And so many times you hear these stories from brothers and you realize that their mothers hurt their development. When you grow up and your mother has been serial dating and you're seeing all these men in and out of your living room, you didn't see your mother having a relationship with him, but you knew this brother spent the night at your mother's house. I didn't have that. We grew up in the projects, but I never seen a man spend the night at my mother's house. So a lot of times these men have bad feelings towards women because of their mothers. So I wanted you to address that.
Well, again, listen, man, like we said, trauma can be overt or it can be subtle. And if a mother doesn't encourage a son, right? Or if a mother demeans a son, you like your daddy.
Yeah.
You ain't no good. You like your daddy. Or mixed in with you look just like your daddy. Mixed in with you ain't no good like your daddy.
Like your dad.
Do you get what I'm saying? And there are some women that are like that. Absolutely. There are some women that are like that. And it does affect young boys and their development, especially if that's the only parent in the home. If that primary caregiver, right? Or what they call the custodial parent. But again, I'm telling you, wounds are like a script in your spirit. You have the opportunity to rewrite the script.
Absolutely.
You absolutely have the power to do it. The reality of it is you have to acknowledge what's going on. How do you acknowledge what's going on? I tell people now, you got to go into that relationship looking for you, looking for how you show up. That's why, you see me wearing these T-shirts. It says relationship is the university of you, right? So you walk into the relationship with a journal that's predicated on all the things you notice about how you show up. Oftentimes, our observation is focused on the prey. Men as predators, we looking after trying to get the girl, right? And we're never really looking at us internally. How am I going to show up? What's my communication flaw? How good of a listener am I? How do my wounds show up? Do I have any wounds, right? We don't even go in with that mindset. You get what I'm saying? We go in looking for what we can get, not for how we show up. And again, if you know anything about attachment theory, avoidant, secure, I guess is indifferent. When you have these attachment styles that actually get formed in early childhood, you carry that attachment style into adulthood. So if you have an insecure, abandonment, anxiety, if you got those types of attachment styles, they're going to manifest themselves in your intimate relationships.
Absolutely.
But why are they manifesting themselves? They're manifesting themselves for reconciliation. And when I say reconciliation, this is why they changed it from conflict resolution. There is no resolution to conflict. So when I say reconciliation, to reconcile is to say, you know what? I'm going to stop running from the wounds I have to tend to. This is where conflict resolution turns into conflict management. We have to become better managers of our internal dragons, darkness, shadow. That's a lifelong management gig. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, brother. All right. Well, I appreciate you, man.
One more thing before I go, I want to share with you and the listeners.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in high school and I'm a womanizer. I got a twin brother. We were basketball players, basketball stars actually, and so we had a lot of girlfriends.
Mm-hmm.
My sister, my older sister, by 2 years, comes to me one day and says, "It's because of men like you that me and your sisters won't find good men." I was so pissed off at her, and I asked her, "What do you mean?" She said, "You just go through women. You womanize. You're tearing these women up." She said, "So the guys around are going to do the same thing as you're doing." So Zoe, when she said that, even though I was mad at her, I had to hear what she said, and it changed me because I realized that if I want men to treat my sister good, then I got to treat other men's sisters good. And that's my last thing. Thank you.
Thank you, brother. We appreciate you, man. Torrance, California's in the building because of you. When we come forward, we're going to Denver, Colorado. No, we're going to San Francisco first, then Denver, Colorado. We on fire tonight. I'll talk to you in a second.
Is it good to you? More Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams when we come forward.
3 Bay Area counties have black women chief prosecutors. Maisha Cairo here with your K-Black Minute News, brought to you by CaliforniaBlackMedia.org. Civil rights attorney Pamela Price made history when she was elected Alameda County's first African-American district attorney. Price joins 2 other black women, Contra Costa County DA Diana Becton and San Francisco DA Brooke Jenkins, holding the same office in their Bay Area counties. Price is the 5th black woman to be elected district attorney in California. Former DAs on the list are Vice President Kamala Harris, who was San Francisco's DA from 2004 to 2010, and Jackie Lacey, who was Los Angeles County's DA for 2 terms from 2012 to 2020. KBLA listeners, what are your thoughts on these offices being held by black women? Let us know on all social media platforms at KBLA 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
When you're the victim of a car accident, who goes to bat for you is crucial. We're MVP Accident Attorneys, the personal injury pros. Hiring the right law firm can be the difference between a rewarding settlement and striking out. When it comes to getting the maximum compensation you deserve, our team hits it out of the park. Call the pros at MVP Accident Attorneys at 833-MVP-WINS for a free case review. Call 833-MVP-WINS.
Call on me, your MVP.
Congratulations to Trinity Unlimited Childcare for being KBLA Talk 1580's Office of the Week. Enter your business today in the KBLA app or KBLA1580.com for the Office of the Week. Congratulations to Trinity Unlimited Childcare.
Life is uncertain. It's okay to feel stressed, anxious, worried, or frustrated. It's normal. With CalHope's free and secure mental health resources, it's easy to get the help you and your loved ones need when you need it the most. Call our warm line at 833-317-4673 or live chat at calhope.org today.
More of the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams right now on KBLA Talk 1580.
Yes, this is the ghetto. Showing up now.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been one of the best verses ever on The Voice of Reason. Come on, man. Donny Hathaway versus Teddy P. Like I said before, this is a tie. This is a draw. goodness gracious. The phone lines have been cracking this whole time. We've been talking about hurt magnets. I just have one caveat to add to Amir's point about what psychologists say when they say hurt people hurt people. I also believe that hurt people have a choice, right? So when we say hurt people can also heal people. It's a choice to hurt in a lot of cases, right? I just want people to understand that. Hurt people can heal and then become a conduit to healing. So hurt people can heal. It's not just one way. There are no absolutes in the universe. And I want people to remember that. Because Will Smith just said it a little while ago, hurt people hurt people. Yes, they do. And many hurt people who can't acknowledge that they are hurting themselves have the propensity to go on and hurt people. Okay? But hurt people can also heal and become healers themselves. There is such a thing as the wounded healer. All right. Rhett from San Francisco. Get in here, Rhett.
Brother Zoe. So, listening to all of the past speakers and hearing you talk about how trauma can really calcify a wound, it brings me to a quote from our good scholarly brother, Benjamin E. Mays. I called in yesterday with a quote, and I'm about to give you another one.
Give it to us. Yes.
And it says that every man and woman is born into this world to do something unique and something distinctive. And if he or she does not do it, it will never be done. And I think about all of the relationships that eroded and all of the Black children that never had a chance to come to be or be in a positive two-parent household because the wounds that people had calcified, and instead of dealing with it, they succumbed to it. And if I could hear you speak on that, brother.
So
and also, go Lakers, go LeBron.
I'll jump into it right now. LeBron and them, they're done. But I'll jump into it right now.
They won tonight.
So,
they beat Milwaukee. They beat the best team in the NBA.
Yeah,
They just won.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let me deal with it. So, Dr. Jashana Johnson said something so powerful on my television show. She said, when it comes to trauma, the issue is in the tissue. And it blew my mind because there's a book out there called The Body Remembers by Babette Rothschild. The body remembers. The issue is in the tissue. So what happens with unhealed wounds, it causes you, when you feel like you're in a space that can trigger those wounds, it causes you to reenact. You become Pinocchio, and the wound is the puppet master. Do you see? So a lot of people who have learned to love the trauma, this is why there's like a Stockholm syndrome in these trauma bonded kind of relationships. This was hurt magnets, right? You understand, there's this trauma bonding kind of effect, or this Stockholm syndrome kind of effect, and people actually are whisked away by the feeling of, oh, this is amazing, this is my soulmate, this is this, and then it burns out, and then the real drama that comes with the trauma starts to come to the surface. The manipulation, the controlling. Do you get what I'm saying? These wounds control people. That's why I say these wounds are actually choosing who you gonna date. Now, you have a choice still. You're like a puppet with scissors in your hand. You can cut the strings if you want to. You see what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
It does.
Yes, man. That's where we are in these types of relationships. You can cut the strings if you want to, but many people don't want to because that's what they've identified with. That becomes their normal. And dare I say, that becomes their truth. That little cliche saying, it's my truth. DC? Hey, Brother Rhett, as always, man, I appreciate you, man. Thank you for reaching out, brother. I got to get Cali Soul in here, but thank you for that jewel, brother. Cali Soul, Denver, Colorado, jump in.
Peace, though. I'm going to say this. Trauma, as I said earlier, shows up in many different ways, and people don't realize that the ego, a.k.a. the lower self, a.k.a. the iblis, is a very tricky thing. Oftentimes
entitlement.
When we think of the ego. Yeah. Oftentimes when we think of the ego, we think of it as loud and boisterous and just obnoxious. But the ego is also a coward.
Ooh.
It likes to play victim. And when we're communicating with people, when we're reaching out to people, we want to make sure that we are communicating to them from ourselves, from our higher self, a.k.a. the Holy Spirit, a.k.a. your intuition. But if you are communicating, and you'll know how you're communicating by the way you feel. If you're feeling uncomfortable, you're likely communicating with the ego. Your ego is communicating with their ego.
Mm-hmm.
If you feel peace, then your higher self, the Holy Spirit, your intuition is communicating with theirs. So the situation that just unfolded that we've seen with Brother Fred, God bless him, he doesn't realize that he was traumatized when he was a child.
Mm-hmm.
So he's still acting out with the ego, his trauma, and projecting it onto others. And you know, he can move through that and heal.
Man, Callie, I love you, sister. Thank you so much for calling in and giving us the good word. We appreciate you.
Amen.
You already know you got a seat at the table. Ashe. Listen, I start the conversations, you finish them. Now, up next, when we come forward, what you're going to get is Danny Morrison, a replay, the best of, right? You're going to get Danny Morrison and, of course, Robin Ayers. Have a great weekend. I'll see y'all next week, Monday. Deuces, loves.